Five, four, three, two. Hello, Internet. The time is 9 p.m. on the dot on June 10th, 2023. It's me, your friend, Chris Kennard. I'm joined with my friend, Scott. They, he pronouns, and I guess I should just announce it here for the whole Internet to hear. So if you don't follow me personally, hello again. My name is Chris Kennard. My pronouns are he, she, or they. Dealer's choice. Any pronouns, baby. Happy fucking Pride. Scott, how are you?
Doing good, and happy Pride to you too.
Yes, indeed. Queer Lives Matter. Point blank, period, fam. Welcome back to
yeah.
Songs with Scott. This is volume
Part
2, the third stream, technically speaking, if you will. In the past, we just had a very fun conversation about 10 songs that you really like. And I asked you, could I recommend you some joints, some rock and roll songs? And you're like,
and
heck
I was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Right. And so I sent it your way. If you go into the description, folks, you can find the songs. They are, but the list includes, but is not limited to. All right, I'm pretty sure I'm going to mispronounce this word, but Picayune or Picayune by Seder, Primordial Sound by The Contortionist, I Met a Yeti by Cthulhu by I Met a Yeti, Mind Rider by Hail the Sun, No Stranger to Worry by Artifacts Perio, The Blowtorch is Applied to the Sugar by A Lot Like Birds, Whispers of Your Death by Counterparts, Outrun by Veil of Maya, Remember You Are Dust by Entheos, and No Hope to Begin With by Gradual Slip. Okay. Yeah. So here's what I was thinking. At first I'm like, let's just split that shit down the middle, problem solved. But given some information I got recently, I want to cover Entheos second. But other than that, we'll do Seder, Contortionist, I Met a Yeti, and Hail the Sun. And I want to cover Hail the Sun first because I have to snitch on myself.
Okay, then bring it on.
Okay, this is I'm hopping into the heavy metal confessional booth with Father Scott here.
Okay.
And so check it out. Last time we spoke, I'm pretty sure I've talked about Dance Gavin Dance with their current lead vocalist, Tillian Pearson, basically assaulting 2 women. And that when I heard about that, and when the band took they beat around the bush, you know what I mean? Dude was in rehab for a time. A fan spotted Tillian backstage at a show. People were confused. The band was like, he completed his rehab for alcohol abuse. We're welcoming him back into the band. And I was like, I didn't know dude had an issue with alcohol. I'm more upset about him assaulting 2 fans. And
me too.
Not to make light of people fighting alcohol abuse. I know how hard that can be. Not personally, but enough of us in our real life know folks who struggle with that sort of thing. That's no joke. And congratulations, I guess, but babe, you still shouldn't have the job. I was very much of the mind.
Yes, thank you.
I was like, listen, it was an unfortunate time for Dance Gavin Dance. Their longtime bassist, he passed away, and then they had to play their they have a festival in Sacramento because they're based in Sacramento. It's like, dang, you have to play that festival, your friend's gone, and then you lose your lead vocalist. Tough bag. I'm like, hey, you have to fulfill your end of the contract, promote the album, play the tour. It's clear you can play the tour without Tillian. Then, once the obligation's complete, break up the band. You already have secret band with everybody in the band except for Tillian. Do that instead. You have a myriad of side projects that are related to the whole Swan Core, Blue Swan Records moniker. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But y'all chose to take the easy way out, in my opinion. I can't respect that. I had to stop listening to the band.
Yeah, same here.
And I feel oh damn, if I lose Dance Gavin Dance, I also lose almost 5 other bands, including Royal Coda. I lose Cianvar. I lose Nova Charisma. Damn, there's probably some others that I'm missing just now. But I want to specifically focus on Cianvar and Nova Charisma because they feature the talents of Donovan Malero, lead vocalist of Hail the Sun. And
Oh,
so,
okay.
and Nova Charisma is like his side project with bassist of the band. I forget bro's name. I think Sergio Medina, who's like who took over as bassist for Dance Gabba Dance when Tim passed away.
Yeah.
And Cien Varas were also featuring Donovan Malero on lead vocals, and they have Will Swan from Dance Gabba Dance as like the lead guitarist and such. And
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, I can't listen to these acts no more because I don't want those brothers to get a penny of my AdSense. So that what leaves, but I'm like, oh wait, where does that leave Hail the Sun? Because like,
Yeah.
like they're brothers in arms in this whole like progressive rock world. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh, Hail the Sun, if there's like a Dance Gavin Dance like tour or festival, they'll probably play because like they're buddies, and like them being into that band makes sense if you like Hail the Sun. And so I'm like, damn, do I cancel this band? Like just by just like
It's hard.
just because their adjacency to them, like say Periphery. I was singing Periphery's praises basically all my heavy metal life,
Oh
but
yeah, me
they're
too.
right under the bill for the most recent Dance Gavin Dance like traveling festival. And I'm like,
Oh
and I know
really?
that the dudes in Periphery, they are savvy businessmen. But
That
like
is for sure.
I remember like one of those guys being into NFTs or Ethereum or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, oh, that's yucky. That's a bad investment. Don't respect that shit at all. Bad for the environment. Not to mention the fact when one of the other fellas who I won't mention by name, basically like treated Yvette Young from Cavett like shit. And I'm like, do I
Really?
cancel this band? I'm not going to get into the details because like it's
Yeah,
basically
we
like
gotta talk about that another
that whole
time.
story is like dead and buried.
But
I'll tell you off cam because like it really hurt me personally
mm.
because it just goes into my whole like dog. It's really not safe out here for non-men from marginalized communities in our scene, and it makes me super
Right.
annoyed.
Yeah, like it pisses me the fuck off too. I didn't even know that anyone in Periphery was an asshole to Yvette Young, and because Yvette Young is like a fucking superstar,
Genius.
like fucking rules, and I've seen her in interviews, and she seems like a really awesome person. It's like, why would anyone even have the impetus to treat a kind person with meanness? Like what's your end game? Like, why would you even feel the need to do that? You know what I mean?
Not to mention the fact that like Yvette Young almost broke up the band for her own sake. You know what I mean? Just because she was having such a hard time. And she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna give it one more go. New lineup, I'm going on tour. And it's like, thank you for blessing us with like your music. Cause again,
right.
one of the shining stars in like our like progressive, just like experimental rock worlds.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Big time. And
agreed.
There was
Shout
a
to our
comment
vegans. Nah, but so that takes us to Hail the Sun. Like I like Donovan Malero for like not only is he an insanely good vocalist, he's also a really good drummer. And like I hadn't really heard of like a talented drummer and singer like Donovan Malero since like Aaron Gillespie since Under Oath. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, like this dude's doing the same shit. I love that. I remember one time they had a song about just like the ugly underbelly of adult entertainment, how people kind of get manipulated into that life. And like not to say like not to like poo-poo sex workers, but to be like, oh hey, like we need people who have malintent for these performers to get the fuck out of here. We need to like
exactly, and
we need to protect them, and they need to be like
yes,
they need to be like prioritized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm all like, yo, like if you want to use what you got to like make some money, get it how you live it. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what the heck you're doing, if you're having fun, you're being safe, you're using your body, it's like do what you gotta do. You might as well make some money. But it's like people want to be like, let's take advantage of these people. Like, ew, bro, go away.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, like the fact that like sex workers get treated like shit so much is baffling to me because actually sex work is like historically the oldest profession in the history of time, and actually in civilizations, pre-European colonization, sex workers were revered and seen as sacred. And so, like what happened, and that something got lost in translation from that point and to today. So protect sex workers. Yes. Who is that? Okay, well,
The
I
vegan that could.
yeah, and but yeah, like protect sex workers seriously, and be kind to sex workers. There's actually this really great nonprofit that my family and I support called Hips, and like you know, they do a lot of outreach and you know, like uh, activism for sex workers, and you know, their whole slogan is "Be kind to sex workers," and I'm like, yeah, duh.
For real, for real. Hey, drop me a link after the stream so I can put it in the comments.
Yeah,
So
and
like, I was so like, like, oh, like here's like a, like, cause a lot of like scene kid bands, like a lot of like heavy bands, like they make the kind of music they make like for the hell of the game, and I'm like, for sure, but like it's not often we have bands that are like, oh, like these songs have a message, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, cool, like I'm always gonna ride for these dogs, cause like it's not often we have like a band from like this specific sound that's like actually has something to say, and so like now I heard Mind Rider, I'm like, oh, like hell yeah, this is fire, but it's like, oh, like I think of my responsibility to others who like don't like this kind of music, and it's like, am I making the right decision and like playing like getting them into Hail of the Sun? What if something happens to them? And I don't like to like put that kind of like pessimism into the air, but it's just
mhm,
like, and who knows like their relationship to the Labs and Dance Gavin Dance and what it's like,
right.
how's that affected their career even now? Because they have a headliner coming up with a
Yeah,
bunch of bands that I like. And it's like, oh, they need that break. They need this tour. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
like, I remember like just like witnessing a debacle between two other like smaller bands when they wanted to like go on the road with Tiny Moving Parts. And the frontman of Tiny Moving Parts committed a Me Too crime and tried to like,
oh
and
no.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm actually
I'll
not
go into that.
familiar
I'll
with
go into
that
that.
band, but still,
Like, because
anytime I hear,
the fact of the matter is, the crime was committed, and the frontman's like, "Here's the steps that I've taken as an answer to my crimes," and it looks good on paper. It looks really good, but then I'm like, this person still has to be in the scene. This
right,
person still has to walk around seeing people like, "Yo, that Tiny Moving Parts is good," and it's like, I wouldn't feel right in my spirit, like still putting on for that band. And
right,
Band A was like, hey, yo, y'all are going on a tour with Tiny Moving Parts? Did y'all not see what happened with Tiny Moving Parts? And Band B was like, hey, yo, mind your business. And I'm like, and I'm not sure whether they walked away from that tour or didn't take it or did take it. I don't know. And
mhm,
it's, since we don't have these kind of conversations, since like there's no like code of ethics per se, we
yeah,
like a lot of people get left hanging in the balance because I'm like, damn, like this new single is good, and like Hail the Sun's been around for a decade, and it's like I hate to see
really,
such good music and good bands like just get like like seen remain unseen. Like Claudio Sanchez, obviously from Coheed,
oh yeah,
he has
totally,
a
but yeah,
label,
our favorite, one
and
of my favorites.
oh, so good. And one of his bands that he signed was Thank You Scientist, and I think
Yeah,
Thank You Scientist is and yes, I can. I got you. Best believe I got you, vegan. I promise you. And
yeah,
so,
totally, yeah, we
Thank
got
You
you,
Scientists,
got you.
they're like, like they're really good. They're from Jersey. So it's like, oh, they're up around the corner. If you can like get a car and like go see them. I saw them playing
Yep.
DC once. And like, I'm like, oh, this band is so good. And like every time I see like some Jersey shit, I'm like, where's Thank You Scientists? Like, why aren't they getting the love they deserve? And they're going on tour
Right, yeah, and
with
they're really good.
they're
Mhm.
so good, and like they're
Yeah.
going on tour with like they're going out with Between the Buried and Me, and I'm like, that makes
Oh,
perfect
that's
sense for them to
cool.
be paired together because this
Yeah.
how bonkers and progressive they are. And I'm
Oh,
like, I
totally.
would hope that like they keep on getting these tours booked because again, they've been making music for a while, and it's not often we see a marriage of just like brass and like straight up just like infectious like pop and like progressive music.
I know.
And
Yeah.
so and like at a certain point there has to be more than just like fans bullying the local promoter to book these bands. Like
Yeah.
someone with power has to
Yeah.
say enough because y'all decided to like make it hot. Like I can't let you, like someone has to get blackballed is what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah.
so on and so was like say like say Dance Gavin Dance like oh like we're not like they're not getting booked because of like the shit that their frontman did. Like the frontman's gotta get fired, or other
Yeah.
bands have to be like, okay, because like of like, people feel unsure if they can support us going on this tour, we're not going to go. Or like we outwardly condemn like the harassment and
Yeah.
like abuse of like non-men across the
Yeah.
board, fans or
Exactly.
otherwise. It's and like a lot of musicians don't ask for this responsibility, but like as like your star rises in this scene, like like we that's like we go into like the conversation of legacy. And
Yeah.
like I think about like Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse. You
Yeah.
hear the music and you think, yo, this guy's kind of scary. But if you follow that dude on Instagram, oh man, I'm going to play car machines with my wife and
I
daughter, and I'm gonna
know.
donate them to like toy drives. I'm
I
like,
know.
man, Uncle Corpse is
He's
so
awesome.
cool.
I actually met Corpse Grinder once.
Oh, did you? What was that like?
Well, it was great. Like, it was one year I went to Maryland Death Fest, and
Oh, nice.
I can't remember which year it was. I think it was either 2010 or 2011. So this was a while back. Whoa, it was like
Wow, it was a
over
decade
10
or
years
so.
ago. And yeah, and so like I went to the bar and I was gonna get a beer, and I looked to my left and there's Corpse Grinder, and
Big
and
Hulk of a man.
right, exactly, and like and so yeah, I looked to my left and there's Corpse Grinder, and I'm like, oh hey, how's it going? He's like, hey, what's up, man? And like we just started talking music, and like and I forgot to buy my beer, and he was like, oh, I was about to buy a drink. You want anything? And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yes, please, whatever you're having. And so like, and turns out we were both gonna get the same beer. It was just like Michelob Ultra or something. And so like, and yeah, it was great. Like, and really awesome, kind, sweet person. So
Love that.
yeah.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I said all of that because I don't
Yeah.
like.
It's
I
important
remember
to
a
talk about.
time. It's like I remember the time in. It is freaking cool.
And it is freaking cool, and like
Like
it was a really fun moment and good memory.
he's like, and so I say all that to say about Hail the Sun and with like the associations to like scenes and bands and other bullshit. It's because like I remember when like Kanye West put on like the MAGA hat for the first time, and
Yeah,
like not only was I disappointed and upset, people
yeah,
were trying to like one specific person who will remain nameless, like made like a snarky comment about it because I was a big Kanye person for a long time,
oh yeah,
and
like me
just like
too. And like so I was pretty disappointed about like the way things went in recent times. And his support for MAGA and like support for Trump and all that. Like I'm just kind of like, oh man, that's a bummer. You know.
and like what like so that snarky comment about like, oh, your boy's wearing the red hat, what's going on with your boy wearing the red hat? It's like I will not be held responsible for like a grown man
Right.
who has like the means to like know why this would be a bad like investment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And agree. This also made me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too. And so I'm right
See,
there with
yeah,
you.
big point.
Yep. And ever since he spiraled. Yep.
And so
I
like
agree. Yep.
when like a larger than life musician band like Act the Ass, like say even like Matt from the 1975 and the headlines and such, I have like a choice to make. It's like I could say I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna listen to like College Dropout or like Downtown Mountain Battle, what have you. And
Mhm.
I don't want to run the risk that a single person might think, yo, like Chris Kennard, like his channel's cool, but like his choices in music make me concerned for my safety. I want anyone who's gonna be around me, friend, enemy, stranger, to be like, oh, like I like not really sure if his content's for me, but I know his recommendations are going to be solid. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like
yeah. And yeah,
I'm constantly trying to like evolve and like adapt to like the laws of the land, to both spoken and unspoken. And so like
yeah, me
as
too.
much as it like, because like again, this Mind Rider record by Hail the Sun, hard as balls, great
Yeah.
solos, great vocals, and I'm
And
like,
yeah,
if
actually, like so with Hail the Sun, one thing that like came to mind when I was listening to them was have you heard this band Mandroid Echo Star?
I've definitely heard them by name.
Okay, yeah, like if you like Hail the Sun, you'll love Mandroid Echo Star, and they're pretty much like in that same vein. Like, and one thing that I really liked about the playlist you sent me is a lot of like there was definitely quite a few bands I didn't know, which was fun, and like a lot of the stuff on it like was giving me like big Coheed vibes, which you know me, I'm a big Coheed fan, so like and Hail the Sun being one of them, and I was like, oh, this also reminds me of Mandroid Echo Star, who also reminds me of Coheed, and so like so yeah, if you like Hail the Sun, you'll like Mandroid Echo Star.
And just like that, like now I know that like okay, there's something I can sub it in for
yes,
if the time
and
came, because like that's what because like people are like oh like they're like oh I don't like cancel culture because that means you can't listen to my favorite bands anymore. Do you know how many bands are out there in the world right now?
right,
Do you know
actually,
how
yes,
many great bands there are that like that gave it up and never like misbehaved badly? It's
right,
like
yeah,
there is a whole galaxy of bands that I have yet to listen to, and I
exactly.
cannot wait trying to hear them all.
Yeah, exactly. And like you know, like I think about this a lot and you and I probably already talked about this, but I might as well say it again. But this is my hot take about cancel culture. I actually like it because
Woo!
because it keeps me informed. You know, like it keeps me informed of where I should be putting my support or not, because it's like because the way I look at it is like you know so we live in a capitalist society. It's fucking terrible. uh, but uh, the fact is, until it's still here, the way I look at it is like I work hard for I I work hard for the money that I make. You know, we all do. And so like I would like to be informed about what artists are doing and what they have done, because then it's like you know, I don't want to put my hard earned money into you know a band that has members that have sexually assaulted anyone, or any bands that have white supremacists in them, or like that are homophobic, transphobic, etc. You know, like it's like why would I put my money and energy into this band when there are these other bands over here, you know, that, you know, the members are actually good, kind people making great music, you know, and so like that's my hot take about cancel culture is like, I actually like it because it keeps me informed. It's kind of like, you know, like I was gonna say it's kind of like the news, but then like I don't know if that's a good comparison, but you know what I mean.
I do, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I
Keeps me
wanted to
informed.
make sure. I just want to make sure that like I just want to like not to like step on a grenade, but it's just I know how I feel about like my faves, and it's just
Yeah,
like I don't want to like say one thing online and then like do another because I ran through the songs
right.
for this playlist yesterday and I skipped
Mm.
Mind Rider because it's like I already know that I like the song.
Oh yeah,
I don't want some
it's a
person on
good
Twitter
song.
to be like, oh, this guy said he was canceling the band, but he's still listening to him on Spotify. Oh, hypocrite. Oh, you know what I mean?
Right,
Hey, vegan, we're not going to get into it tonight, but I'm with you. I am
and
with you. Trust me, fam. You have my empathy because I am with you.
and I hate to sound like a pleb, but I actually don't know who 1975 is. So I've
If you
never
had
heard.
said that like 6 months ago, I would have been so happy to get you into them. But
Right.
now I don't think I can in good conscience. And that
Oh,
makes
okay.
me so upset.
Oh,
Because
I'm sorry.
buddy did it to himself. And you hate
So
to
they had
see it.
a member of the band that did something terrible.
Okay,
Um,
fine. We'll get into it.
yeah,
Real
yeah, yeah.
quick.
Why not?
So there's a rapper in New York. Her
Mhm.
name is Ice Spice. She's new to
Oh
the
yeah,
scene.
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have heard Munch or it's one of her like one of her songs out here in the wild. I know she and Pink Panthers had a big song on the radio. That Boy's a Liar Part 2.
Yeah.
But like she was doing a press junket and they're like, "Oh, who's your favorite band?" And she's like, "I like the 1975."
Okay.
And frontman of the band was on a podcast with these two comedians, quote unquote, and like they were talking foul about this young lady, about her body, about like her racial background, about like people from the Inuit community, about like Chinese folks.
Wow.
It was really, really gross. Like they're having a laugh at her expense. Awful. That's the first part. Second part, in his own personal life, Matt, the lead singer of the 1975, acting real unhinged on stage. First of all, side note, I agree, Faye, 1000%.
Hey, Faye.
But your boy Matt is like out here like doing the Nazi salute, out here eating raw meat on stage, out here making out with fans, kissing on security, like real just like Kanye level rants in between songs. And I'm like, where the fuck did this happen? Where did this come from? I'm so confused.
Yeah, like
and the last part, this is the big one. I'm so glad you brought this up. Taylor Swift, megastar, was dating this dude for 6 years. They break up. She's like also like on the biggest tour of her entire career because she's playing songs from every one of her albums. Like I think her set in New York was 3 hours long because she got hits. You know what I mean? We know this.
Oh my god!
But
3 hours. Again, that's a big set. I hope
3 hour set, bro. In there. But she breaks up with a dude that she's been with for like 6 years. I forgot what dude. I think his name was Joe or something like that. You hate to see it. She starts dating this dude, Matt, allegedly. Allegedly. I'm not trying to get sued by like the Swift lawyers here, but allegedly they start going out. And the Swift fans are like, hey, yo, Taylor, that boy is bad news, girl. Like, yeah, maybe he cute, but I don't know about this one, shorty.
Yeah.
And her most recent album too. And her most recent album came out recently. She dropped the deluxe. And on the deluxe was a remix of a song, I think it was called Karma, with one Ice Spice. And that's a W for Ice Spice because it's like, ooh, some Taylor Swift streaming dollars. Get to the bag. We love to see it. However, it's like, does this mean that Taylor Swift co-signs Matt's bad behavior? And this is what people are questioning about and like musing about or whatever. They already have broken up at this point. And like, cool, whatever. Like, hope it was worth it, babe. But like, man, like it's that happened in like that happened like this to see like the mainstream indie world, like the pop world and like the hip hop world like car crash into one another before my screen was like, it's so bonkers like that. This happens all the time, which leads me to my next point because I think what I want to stop talking about. I want to stop talking about Hail the Sun. Listen, the song's good. You can see for yourself. You can also decide for yourself whether you want to like get into the band, knowing who like they're just like so close to in like this like scene kid rock and roll industry. I want to go to Entheos next, and here is the reason why.
And actually, real quick, do you mind if we take a very short 5? Just because I have to use the restroom and I have to grab my phone charger because I just saw a notification that said my phone is down to 20%.
Do it.
Do it.
I didn't Go ahead. It's all good.
Charging
I can
my
talk
phone
for hours. I got this.
But yeah, so a quick 5, and then when we get back, we're on to Entheos. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back.
All right, Scott. Hey, people. I have 3 listeners in the stream right now. Thank you so very much. I appreciate y'all. A big shout out to the vegan that could. Bless you. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Faye folks. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out this evening. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but you're hanging out with the boy. I appreciate you so much. Happy Pride, all that good stuff. Vegan, earlier in the stream, you were like, hold on a second. Could I suggest any non-problematic bands that you could get into? I would like to say that, oh, my pleasure. I would like to say this. Like, if you go to like the playlist section of my YouTube account, I have a bunch of playlists that I've made for a lot of like friends and family. And you can like close your eyes, pick one, and you might find something that you enjoy. If Spotify is your bag, not only is there a Spotify version of this playlist that we're talking about tonight, it's Songs with Scott 2. You go into that account, I have a bunch of playlists. You can like go on, like I think my Forever 50 is a great place to start. Recently, I've been listening to bands like Nowhere. I'll put that in the comments so you know how it's spelled. Boom and boom. If you love like jazz, pop, and just like humor, if you have like a sense of humor, you're gonna love this band. It's Genevieve Artadi and Lewis Cole, like just bonkers off the wall. Oh, Spotify is life. Don't even get me started on Spotify. I've been with the Spotify folks since like 2011 when I was like a freshman in college. Just like I had a radio show that was built off Spotify in the sense that like I would play the songs from Spotify and just like turn off the volume when the ad would play. Big Spotify person. Don't care much for their CEO. Pay the bands more. DSPs pay the bands more. People who make music need to pay their rent. Oh my gosh! And you've been with them. You've been with them since 2011 too, bruh. I went from like iTunes to Pandora to Last FM to Spotify, and I haven't like I've been with them ever since. Honestly, ooh, talk about it, vegan. It's like again, we know that Daniel Ek isn't like the nicest dude in the world, but like. Scott's back. The fact of the matter is,
I got
perfect. Yes, a lot of people. Ashwin, first of all, I love you so much. You're the love of my life. Please give my best to your wife. A lot of people I follow on Twitter talk about like their Scrabbles all the freaking time, and I don't personally use it right now because I don't have like the time. But like, I'm so glad. Like, I got into a lot of stuff because of Spotify. So. Yay! Thank you, vegan. I really appreciate you. If you follow the boy on any social media, I don't know. I may have to make it a personal one if you like. It's like my obsession. If I'm being honest with you here, I want to leave my day job and like join the music industry somehow, some way. But I feel like I gotta still pay my dues. So, Scott, are you with me? You good?
All right, we are back. Yeah, I was just trying to get my phone situated so
you're cool. You are all right. I want to talk about Entheos real quick.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I love Entheos.
They're so good. But
I'm a huge Entheos fan.
I want to talk about them for like I was gonna save it for like part 2 of our stream.
Right. And we can jump 100%, all over the place.
100%.
Google Music Flex is a good alternative. Sweet.
If you didn't know, like Google Music, like basically like they're gone forever, and that broke my heart. But like, hey, these things happen. So are you familiar with the rapper known as Champagne Papi?
I am not, unfortunately. But do you have any?
How about Drake?
Huh?
How about Drake?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with Drake.
That's the same person. I was making a stupid joke. That's what he calls himself sometimes.
And doesn't Drake like doesn't he like
not a fan
date women girls?
He's on his Leonardo DiCaprio type shit. Yes.
He's a pedo. Great.
But I bring him up because my good friend, the Living Abstraction, who also like will do YouTube streams with me, he sends me a DM on Twitter, and like I'm gonna go through the tweet because it's I can't believe that it happened. The account Young Skirt, he posted a tweet saying Drake just posted Entheos on his Instagram story, and I'm like, huh? Why would he do this?
Yeah,
I'm confused. And like the post says, Cheney Crab, my twin flame. And to that, sir, I say, in the immortal words of Demi Lovato, leave her alone, go get a job.
Exactly.
That is a married woman, sir. But in my quote tweet, I was like, you know what? Buy some shirts for you and your son if we're gonna do this, I guess.
Right.
'Cause
And also,
I
I
told
think
the homie, I'm like, if it means that like more Canadian fans get into Entheos, if it means they get more, if they get booked and busy in like the coming months because of Drake, cool, I guess, but it's also kind of weird. It says to me that like that boy Aubrey Graham knows about that like shit post we all made where like there was like a picture of him like holding the mic like this, like looking like he's doing like hitting like a nasty like pig squeal. And they're like, hey
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
what Drake song is he
I saw
singing
that
like that?
meme.
What kind of like vocal power does he need to sing like that? So
I
he
know, I
saw
love
that,
that meme.
saw all like the metal jokes, and he's like, who's this Entheos band I hear so much about? So if you are like Drake and you're like, who the fuck is Entheos? Let me tell you something, buddy, old pal, friend of mine.
Right.
There once was this band called Animals as Leaders.
Love
And like at the time, oh, so good. We
Oh
had
yeah,
Toast and
actually,
Abbasi.
I have a funny side note about animals as leaders. It's a short story. I'll tell you later.
Oh, perfect.
I'll tell you
Good.
after what you were about to say.
Yeah. All right, girl. All right. Animals as Leaders is Tosin Abasi and Javier Reyes, and it was Naveen Copperwees. And Naveen Copperwees is like, hey yo, I'm gonna go do some shit on my own. I gotta bounce. And he was doing like some EDM, some type shit or something like that. I didn't really get into it per se. And then they got the dude is currently they got Matt Garska from Berkeley to play for Animals, and that guy's going with the sauce. And
the sauce. Hell yeah.
Like years later, we see Naveen. He's like, "Hey yo, I'm back, and this time I got my wife to like do vocals for me, and we have a band." And I'm like, "I'm a happy couple making heavy metal together. We love to see it."
Yeah,
and
it's
you put the
kind of
song
like
on, and it's like,
right?
"Hey yo, Cheney Crab is if there are 50 great vocalists, Cheney Crab is in top 15." I'm just saying,
right? And yeah, exactly. Like I mean, like, and
boy.
Yeah, like she has incredible vocals, and actually on the most recent record they put out, she's doing some actual singing on there too. Well, clean vocals,
baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And the way she did it reminded me so much of like Paul Masvidal from like Cynic, and
oh wow,
yeah, and it was really good.
Yes, time will take us all. Go get that shit. Yo, Golden Lobsters forever. You know what I'm saying? They also like Naveen and Cheney also have a podcast. The Copper Crab podcast. It's so sweet. It's like them just hanging out at the crib, like with their buddy, like heavy metal. We do this for a living. Can't believe it.
Right.
It's like, oh, like I want to hang out with these dudes. Like, oh man, like just like kick back, talk about these records. Like they have like a hotline you can call and leave like a nice message like, hey guys, have a good day. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, like and,
so sweet.
Yeah, it
so
kind of
awesome.
It kind of reminds me of this one podcast that I really like. It's not music related at all. It's called a hot dog is a sandwich.
I've mentioned this before, but I forget what it's about. What is this podcast you keep referring to?
Okay, yeah, it's been one of my recent obsessions. It's kind of like one of my comfort listening go-tos.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the YouTube channel Good Mythical Morning?
Yes, with Rhett and Link.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like there's like a separate channel called Mythical Kitchen, and it's like all the food related Good Mythical Morning episodes. The Mythical Kitchen, it's the crew that makes all those different dishes for that channel, and like and they just do these like really wacky, crazy, chaotic, funny videos that are also kind of wholesome, and also full of sexual innuendos that are great. And like so the two main folks in that group, Josh and Nicole, like that's their podcast is Hot Dog is a Sandwich, and they just talk about it's so stupid, but it's like so funny. They just talk about all these various like food debates, like does pineapple belong on pizza, or
yes.
yeah, exactly. And then like on other stuff is like are mayo and aioli the same? You know, and like
no.
Yeah. And
both good, but like no. No.
Yeah, and it's a really fun podcast, and they're best friends, and like it's just very wholesome and fun, and like they also like do all these great sexual innuendos that are just fun, and like so and
shout
like
out to the Susio Spectrum.
Yeah, and so like if you like listening about weird food debates and friendship and sexual innuendos, then you'll like it.
AKA hot dogs on sandwich. Please send Scott some free merch. They deserve it. Boom. That was a great promo.
Yeah,
I'd not asked them to do that, but I'm glad that they did.
Yeah, and
right.
Yeah. Anyway, so like, sorry to deviate from the.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen, we gonna be here for like another hour. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like, Entheos. It's
Entheos,
like,
yes.
I'm thinking, not having any context for what it sounded like. It's like, oh, these guys seem nice. I'll check out their song. And Scott knows this about me. I have a hard time with albums.
Right. Yep.
And so I'm like, oh, let me just pick a single. And I picked Remember That You're Dust. And I may have mentioned like the first time we talked on YouTube how I don't have a great birth as in regards to just like deathcore or tech death, you know what I mean, technical death metal. I'm like, I don't really have much to like draw from, but I'm like, as I've heard it described, like this is a thinking person's metal, you know what I mean, like very like stop start, like all time signatures and just like, you know, like brutal vocals, but it's just like it's good and like just very just like, you know, like philosophical like lyrics and things of that nature. And all right, I'll tell a personal story about how I was hanging out with a friend, and she's a singer for hire, if you will, and she was singing at a church, and it was Ash Wednesday, and you know, like if you know anything about like the Bible thumpers, like on Ash Wednesday, they put some dirt in your forehead and like remember your dust. And on the ride home, she was like, "Damn, that really was like kind of hard to hear for her personally," and like I think of two bands. I think of Flyleaf and Polyphia, because Flyleaf's second album was called Memento Mori, which I think is Latin for Remember That You Will Die. And the most recent Polyphia album has the same name, Remember That You Will Die. And cherry on top, the game Death Stranding has like one of like you talk to one of the characters, and she's like, they say that the machines are perfect, but I disagree. Unlike humanity, machines will never die. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of hard. Damn.
Yeah, it really does go hard. And
I appreciate like a metal band's gonna make me think about that kind of shit. It's like not only gonna make me want to like spin kick the next guy I see into the next room, but it's just like, how am I gonna like just like, how do I like contend with like these just like, you know, like just like lofty ideals about existence, and like, am I making the right decisions? Like, is there meaning in my life and all that like good shit, you know, like
right. And and yeah, like I guess there is a little bit of that in the Entheos song you sent me, and like a little bit of that in the lyrics. Like I you know, when I checked out the lyrics, like I kind of got that vibe a little bit, and yeah. And but yeah, Entheos, like I'm a big fan, and my friend Basil, shout out to Basil. His band Wormhole is really good. Really awesome, solid slam tech death, and very awesome people. And like they actually had a member of their band kicked out recently because they found out that he had you know, sexually abused a bunch of people, and so they Wormhole kicked the guy out and replaced him just like that. So fuck around and find out, you know.
You had to be here for our first stream of Scott, where we like just went in detail with this. Scott, I have to tell you, I was late to like setting up the prep for today's episode because I was re-listening to our first stream, and I'm like, that was fun. I'm like, I was stoked to do it.
This one's been fun too.
I was stoked to do this tonight, but it's like for a moment, I was just like, I was firing on all cylinders, because like finally a person from my realm who understands the frustrations that I consistently go back to, because it seems that nobody seems to learn their lesson when it comes to this shit. Is like,
I know, yeah.
The game, like, not to mention Drake, but the game needs change, and I'm the motherfucking cashier.
Yep, and like, yeah, I have those same frustrations like all the time, and like, excuse me, I swallowed something down the wrong pipe.
It's okay. I guess like I wanted to like talk about my favorite quote from the song. We'll move on. Like at one
Yeah,
point you hear the gray sky opened wider than ever. Cold rain came crashing down on me. I breathed it in. I breathed in again to let the light shine in. Still, day and night blend together in perfect harmony. This sense of monotony follows me. Why? It is why we live.
yeah. Like I when I saw that line, like my mind went like yeah, like that was just like perfect, and and just also like the vibe of that song. It like has this like very like um I almost feel like I'm floating in space or something, like ascending to a different plane of existence, you know, like and because I mean it's a very heavy song,
Yeah.
um but they have these really cool haunting like atmospherics going on in the background, and I love it when bands do that, like and which also kind of reminds me of Cynic. Like there are a few songs on the playlist that you sent me that to me like reminded me a little bit of Cynic, and like they're like one of my longtime favorite bands, and so like Entheos being one of those, and like particularly like Cynic's like earlier stuff, like their first album Focus, very much has like I think maybe Entheos drew a little inspiration from that, and so yeah,
If we're gonna like mention bands that kind of remind us of Cynic, I think this would be a perfect chance to get into the Contortionist and their
yeah,
song
I never
Primordial
once reminded
Sound.
me of Cynic. Yeah, and
And so like for I guess for those who like if you never heard like the Contortionist before, like I would jokingly say that like, oh, this is the kind of shit that makes metal bros cry in the pit. You know what I mean? Because like for a moment, like you're gonna link arms
I'm
with
one
like
of those metal
random
girls.
dudes you don't know, and you're gonna like this like and like a chorus of angels will appear as you saying all that you are versus all that you know versus all that you don't, and it's like, ooh baby, we're gonna go deep. We're gonna like
Oh yeah,
just like
big
the
time.
very concept of oh existence grows from itself, and like you know like just like the sound of your soul just like cascading against like the chaos of like your mundane life. It's like it's I feel I'm so glad for I have to like shout out Michael Lassard for saving this band because
Oh yes,
and for the
he really
record
saved
it's
them.
like the homie who left the band he meant to be a full-time dad, so no smoke or disrespect to the
Oh
last
yeah,
cat.
totally. Like
He had a
and
great
like
voice.
yeah, and yeah, I have mad respect for the guy they had before, but and like hey, like like you got to reassess your priorities, and like if you just want to relax and be with your family, like hell yeah, fucking do it. Like I'm all 100% for that, and so like but yeah, Michael Lessard really brought this wonderfully um like very powerfully comforting vibe to the band, um which I really enjoy, and actually like the Contortionist I've been really into for quite some time, but the first album I heard from them was actually the first one he showed up on, which was the song that
Language.
Primordial Sound is from. Yeah, Language. And like the second I heard that record, I fell in love. Like it was just like love at first listen, and then I checked out like their the stuff that they put out before that, and also loved that. And then yeah, Contortionist, great band. When I saw that on your playlist, I was like, oh, I love the Contortionist. And so
Wonderful. I'm
yep,
so happy to hear that. And I want to
yeah.
like vegan like it's so funny you say that Blood Red Summer is like your
Oh
like
yeah,
peak metal experience.
Blood
There's
Red Summer is
there's
awesome.
jump down the rabbit hole, vegan. That's all I have to say to you.
Yeah.
Jump down the rabbit hole. And I would say like if you pick one album that feels like a safe bet, I would think that Language is that safe bet. I feel like
Oh yeah, I
it
agree.
sits
Yeah,
perfectly at the intersection of just like stuff that's brutal, but still that stuff that's beautiful. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly. And like and also to vegan, I have another recommendation. My shirt right here, Sleep Token. Um, like
Completely, yes,
yeah,
yes.
I highly recommend them. Their latest album, Take Me Back to Eden, I've been listening to it constantly since it came out about a month ago, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And so, like, but yeah, also the Contortionists, their album Language. Really, really good recommendation. Just beautiful, melodic. But heavy at the same time. Takes you like kind of like out of yourself and into like the universe, but also has lyrics that are very emotional and that you can relate to. And so, highly recommend. Yep.
For me, like a rock band, like forget even like the metal conversation completely. A rock band
Yeah.
needs like 6 things for me. You need vocals, you need 2 guitars, you need drums, you need
Mhm.
bass, and you need a motherfucker on the keys. You
Yeah.
need a
Totally.
motherfucker on the keys. And if you don't got no keys, you gotta have some horns. I'm just saying.
Yes.
We,
It
we
really.
want like we want to
Yeah.
pretend like big band or like swing or ska is cheesy. Like, cuz like we all love some horns or some keys. So
Yeah.
what are
We
you
really do.
talking about? And
Yeah.
we love bands like say Rush, Green
Yeah.
Day,
Yeah.
various other like like Triple Threat. We love like the White Stripes
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like that. We love that. Like and if you don't have much, by all means, get to it.
Hmm.
But if we're gonna like again, oh, so you know what? Some strings. If we don't have brass and we don't have keys, we need some
Yeah.
strings.
Yes.
We
Exactly.
gotta have
Strings.
something.
Yep. Yep.
Like
And
even if like you like again like thank you scientists they have that one they have that one that person who like plays like the what's that thing that like you play like the it's like the box with an antenna and it makes like the
oh yeah, the
noises. What is
theremin.
that? We need
Yep.
something. You gotta have some like weird wiggly instrument that's not like traditionally rock to
Yeah.
sell me on
And
something.
I have a funny story about the theremin. Actually, like
Please.
the first band I was in high school, um, we were called Heresy of the Shadows. We were
Ooh,
terrible. Like
love the name though.
I mean, we were terrible. We were kind of all learning our instruments as we went because like we had all been playing our instruments for like maybe less than a couple of months when the band started, and but we had fun, and we were kind of going for like a new metally kind of vibe, like Corn, Disturbed kind of sound, and like and also a little bit of a gothic vibe too. And so our singer, he bought a theremin, and hell yeah, hots, and like and oh my god, so Faye, like, who are you? Like, you said hot, so you obviously remember those days. That's wonderful. And but yeah, I mean, like that was kind of mean for me to say we were terrible.
You were
Like
there, so it's okay.
like and we actually weren't that bad like but we were still all learning our instruments, so
Yeah.
like we were learning as we went. And so like yeah, oh, Peter, fuck yeah, hey Peter. And I fucking love you, dude. And but yeah, like but we had a wonderful time. We had a great time, and our singer at the time, he got a theremin, and
So
we were
cool.
trying to we were trying to incorporate it into our songs, but we never quite cracked the code. So like
It sounds hard.
it is hard. I mean, like like we were trying to toy with it and figure it out, but we never quite got there. And and so then we kind of like scrapped the idea. I think one time we even tried to play it. I used it at one of our shows, and we couldn't figure out how to hook it up. Neither could the sound guy, and so like
Ah.
yeah, and so like we were just like, maybe this is too much trouble. So and
All that to say, like, if a band's gonna like take the chance to incorporate like some synth and things like that, because I know again in the scene kid world, like if you have like a person that plays keys, often enough, the bigger that band gets, either the keys get abandoned altogether, or like they're like the coolest person on 2 feet. Like
yeah.
Haken is
Oh
a good
yeah, I
example
agree.
of that because like their
Yeah.
keyboard player before like he left the band, who we like them synth lines were undefeated. Like
Oh yes, big time.
the homie from the Moog player from Motion City soundtrack, handstands all over the place. Same with the
Yeah.
Word Alive. Same with like Prada
Yeah.
for a time. I mean, I know like
Yep.
Prada, like their keyboard player changed recently, and honestly, I was offended at first because I was a big fan of what he brought to the band, but like the new person they brought also was like bringing in like he was helping to produce. He was also writing songs, and I'm like, good, but like this way, it's okay. Like it's different, but like it's like things are getting created. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like they're like because you know oftentimes you'll find that a band has a person who writes all the songs, and that's great if it means okay, I don't have to think too hard about like what we're doing here. The songs can get made, the fans get to hear them. But if it's like, dang, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and I have to write these songs, let me call the homeboy who writes the keys. Help me, please. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all for that. And it seems that like you see, like saying you can watch like the Contortionists play like reimagined at like the Machine Shop. And it's like when it's live, it all comes together and like it's everything is balanced. They experience tranquility in real time.
Yeah, and like speaking of bands that have made me cry when they play live, the Contortionist is one of them. Like the first time I saw them was actually it was not long after Clairvoyant came out, and so this was like spring of 2018, like towards the end of the winter of 2018, and yeah, especially when they played Return to the Earth, like I was just like just wow. Yeah.
Yep. I didn't even say it, but I knew because it's at the time it's like, oh, this song is hard. And I was in that song all the time when it came out. But like going back to it now, being 30 years old, I'm like, oh, this song is kind of hard to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. I mean,
it makes me feel some type of way, even just like talking about it. And it's like, people need to hear this.
Yeah.
And like same with like Early Grave. It's like when I heard Early Grave, it's like people are having a really fucking hard time. And you can say that and like joke about it, but it's like people are really having a really hard time. Like, thank God for the Contortionists to be like, it is okay. You are safe. We can have this moment together for like 5 minutes.
Hell yeah. Definitely.
You know, so like it's like the one band where it's like, oh, some bands too heavy or like, oh, too weird. The Contortionists, they're like in the perfect position. And I don't know what's coming next for them, if at all. But like permanently in my soul, like one of the most important bands to come out of the scene. Without question. They even made me like 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins, and I have a hate boner for that band.
And I mean, like I never really got into the Smashing Pumpkins.
Don't.
I have to admit, there was one song I did like a little bit. Like this is back in the day. I think it must have been when I was like really first digging my teeth into music on my own. Like when I was like 10 or 11. Like this song called Ava Adore. Like and it kind of had this like gothic kind of vibe to it. And you know, I liked that song, and then I tried listening to others, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
So listen, it's like easily one of the most important bands of all time, but the front man has said some things that he's appeared in certain places that he was on Alex Jones. He was on Alex Jones. Yeah, he was on Alex Jones.
Sorry, what?
The front man of the Smashing Pumpkins was on Alex Jones once. And I'm like,
gross.
Bro, why are you here?
I really don't know.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
This is weird.
Well, that's a bummer.
I'm saying, like, very much like you could have had everything. And odds are you still will. Like, because I know like they have like a new album out, and I'm like, it's probably great. I'm not interested. You know what I mean? And like homie and like in Smashing Pumpkins, he's been around the block. You know what I mean? Like he was really out here in like in the 90s. And I'm like, man, the things that you've seen and done and still have to say about like our culture are significant. But like I can't separate those two parts of you personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Odds are the Pumpkins are going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday. And there ain't shit I can do about it. But I'm like, hey, like, y'all over there, like, enjoy yourselves. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, Oh.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's like, why put Smashing Pumpkins in there when you could put Shaka Khan in there? You know?
I think it's so funny you say that. I think she just got in, or not even like a
What?
year or two ago.
Oh
I'm like,
man,
but
I know.
again, it's the fact that she had to wait as long as she did to even get into that motherfucker.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah.
while we're fucking at it, like, rest in peace, Tina Turner, one time.
I know.
Rest in peace, Tina Turner, two times. The queen of rock and roll.
Rest in fucking peace. That
Hey,
was like that was hard. I mean, like like
bad, yo.
I mean, she's the reason why one of the reasons why rock and metal exists in the first place.
1000 freaking percent, cuz.
Yeah, and also like just like all the activism that she did, for like speaking out and fighting out against like domestic abuse and everything, and so like mad respect.
Two
All
things I
the
want to
fucking
say about Tina Turner that maybe most of y'all saw. If you're still on Facebook, you probably saw this post circulating for a while when the news went out. When like Tina was having was having like a rough go, and she's like,
yeah
"Bet I'm leaving this man. I'm dipping." And when she went to court, and she's like, "Hey, yo, judge, I don't want nothing from this dude. He can have everything, but I got to keep my fucking name. That's the one thing I cannot like give up. I get to
yeah
keep my name. He can have all that other bullshit." And I'm like, that's brutal. And like, it makes me so like it makes me feel some type of way that that's like the reality for a lot of people to this day. Just saying. And
yeah
I'll be that fucking guy who says like for all the good men there are in this world, a lot of like
quote
bad
unquote.
hombres walk around proudly. Like like good men should make bad men afraid.
Yeah,
Not
I mean
not and not to talk too belligerently, but sorry, like if there's a good man in town, every bad dude should be shaking in his boots, waving the white flag. Like
yep.
I'm like maybe like a good 6'3", 6'4". I wish I was a little bit meaner and a little bit buffer because it's like sometimes I want to grab one of y'all and be like, I'm gonna shake you so hard so you never do this again. Like, cause clearly, like, no one told you not to do this when you were like a tiny person. So I'm a rough you up as a big one. Like, I don't want to see you, and I don't want to see you doing like this foul shit ever again. And I'm not very strong. I'm quite soft and squishy. But like sometimes the stories that I hear from like last week and from years past, oh, they get my blood boiling. But on
Oh,
the
I'm
other
right there
side
with
of
you.
that,
Like that.
before I get lost on that path, when
Yeah, I was
Tina
about to
Turner
take it
like
further.
when Tina
Like,
Turner like meets like her actual husband, like a man that she was with like for all of her life, when she was ill, when she was like first got sick, her husband's like, I'm gonna give her one of my kidneys because I I will not love again if I lose this woman. And like
that's
she
the
was
way
with
to
us
do
for
it.
like 6 years after the fact. And
Yep.
like it makes me think about my old man because God rest his soul, when he got his kidney transplant, they're like, at best you have 5 years, so like please enjoy your life. He got 8. You know what I mean? He got 8 years out of that kidney. And so like it's something about like the power of love that'll keep you around when
That's
people
very
really
true.
need your light. And so like to see all
Yep.
like the powerful like black femmes, black women, like who were just like elevated and inspired by the power of Tina Turner. Hey, dog, never in your life will you see someone in those big ass shoes and short ass dress and that big ass hair rock the stage like Tina Turner. Icon, goddess, rock
Yes.
and
All
roll.
the fucking word. And like,
Cool.
yeah, I mean, like, this world can't function without black women. Like,
Impossible.
yeah, and I mean, they really are like the reason why we're all still here. And
To this day, literally.
I mean, like
Let's
Pride Month. I mean, like Marsha P. Johnson. You
rest in
know.
power, Miss Marsha.
Yep.
Pride was a riot.
Yep. The reason why we're here. So
Listen, the reason why like queer freedom, like I, there's a person I'm talking to, and
yep.
like, I was like in their house, and didn't have no clothes on,
Mm-hmm.
I felt very safe. We haven't been talking for very long, but it's like I feel safe, and
Yeah,
that to me matters more than anything. You know, it's like
safety's important, and to feel safe at the
underrated.
yeah, like I mean, feeling safe with the people that you're around, like that's important. Like that, and I think that's important for any relationship, and like that, like if you don't feel safe around people, you know, don't work.
You know, and it's like, hey, like, and if you feel unsafe, trust your gut. You
Yeah,
know, like at the end of the day, you're all you have. And if it's like, I'm not so sure about this, believe in yourself. You know what I'm
yep.
saying? And because like, and I know it's so fucking hard to do that, but
It is
like,
sometimes. It is sometimes. Yeah, and
take a chance on yourself. And like the ones who really like want to be there for you and care about others are like, whoa, 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 something's not right. I'm gonna go see what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna like transition that to back to the music, but like we got two more songs. We can talk for like an hour, like hour and 5 minutes. I want to get y'all home, or back to back to your regular scheduled program before it's too late. I know that I'm probably thinking about. I'm thinking, I'm gonna finish up the stream. I might go back out for dinner because I have like a Chinese spot that's open till 2 a.m. And I'm like,
Oh, fuck
if I'm feeling it at like midnight, I can slide across the street, no problem. Awesome. And like I finished the stream long
sweet.
enough to do that. But also, I have to make my daily TikTok post. I'm still on that like 365 days of like
Mhm.
new music, and I gotta hold strong. Last time I made the post, I was 60 seconds to posting on time, and like John went up at midnight this morning, and I'm like, I'm trying to stay on top of it. And at post, it's like 15 seconds. It's like, here's a song. Maybe here's their website. Maybe here's like some bands that sound similar. Like, go fuck yourself. Have a nice night. But it's like, if I
Go
really
fuck
feel
yourself.
like 3 minutes, it's like I'll be like, yo, this song is so good. Ah, I'm such a mark. But like, if I'm tired, it's like, hey, cuz like I'm a like a picture of my wall, and like maybe I'll pick like a song by a different name with the same name as the song, and I'll put it up, and it's like, here, I'm actually still I'm committed to this. We're gonna get it done because I'm trying to take those 365 songs and turn it into content next year. So I gotta hold true. So
I
in the
believe in you.
meantime, we have Seder and I Met a Yeti. Scott, which one do you want to
Right.
talk about more?
Oh, let's see. Let's start out with I Met a Yeti.
That's fun to say.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really great name, and like it has a similar bounce to it as like I wrestled a bear once, like and like it's like both band names have animals in them, and that's great, and and I still haven't talked about that story I have with animals as leaders, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But I Met a Yeti. I really liked this song, Cthulhu, and which I love that title. It's like it's so cute. It's like and it's a really great song, and like who it reminded me of? Meet Me at
Who?
the Altar.
Oh yeah, for sure. If they're a little
Yeah,
heavier, for sure.
yeah, and but it had I Met a Yeti. Like that song, reminded me a little bit of Meet Me at the Altar, which I found out about them because I saw they were opening for Coheed on a tour not too long ago. This is like maybe like a year or two ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, let me check them out. And so yeah, that song from I Met a Yeti reminded me of that, and I liked it a lot. And the lyrics, they were kind of sexy, and there was some hot stuff going on there. So kind of reminded me of some Sleep Token lyrics a little bit.
1000%.
Yeah,
And I appreciate I love when like a band can slow shit down.
yeah,
And like I think about say like Minus the Bear with their song Nights, how like
yeah,
you have like the one riff that's like going at a certain speed, but towards like the back half we gotta like the drummer's like slowing shit down, and like
yep,
everyone's like just like eases the pace up just a bit. But when like Medietti gets a it's the axe. I'm like, let's go,
yep,
bro. Like, and
yep.
in the video, you see the drummer like he's like banging his foot on the floor, like he's in Mumford and fucking Sons. I'm like, let's go. Like, this is when folks start doing backflips off the stage. Okay, like
Yeah, exactly.
and I hate to be that guy. Like it sounds like an anime opener, and I'm like, that's a good thing, you know, because oftentimes when I'm watching like these shows, like you're like, yo, who does this theme song? I want to listen to this band, you know, and like 'cause
Yes.
that's how I got into like bands like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Asian Kung Fu Generation, Flow, Boom Boom Satellites, and things like that. So like, man, I may have to like pitch this song to like the next big show marketed to like the Gen Zers because like who knows what it'll do for like Meta Yeti. And
Yeah.
from what I'm not sure if they're like still active at this point because I know they're a new
Oh.
band and they were a band I got into via TikTok, and I'm like, are they still
cool.
like booking shows and things of that nature? And shout out to Daisy. Like we more like tall, glasses wearing front people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And yeah, like that'd be sad if they're not active anymore because like
this song
just
has
based off that one
legs.
song, they're really good.
I know they've been around for a while, and I think I may have followed one of the bands that like they're adjacently linked to on Twitter via Discord. So I don't know. I guess I'll see if I got. This is why I follow almost every band that I see online because it's like as long as you don't have like a million subscribers, monthly listeners, it's like I want to keep an eye on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone
exactly.
deserves a fair shake at this shit. One of my favorite musicians of all time here in Philadelphia, Shamir Bailey. Shout out to Shamir. New album coming out soon. He produced a song for another artist. Her name is Ladifa. And I'm like, all right, cool. If Shamir produced your song, I'm putting on for you. You know, a black woman, I'm putting on for you. And she only had like the one song. And I'm like, bet. Every time, like, because you know, like in Spotify on your phone, you search for an artist, and the more artists you look up, like it'll go down the bottom to like the bottom of the list before it like falls off. And I'm like, I'm making sure I keep Ladifa in my search. So it's like, all right, bet. She has the one song, I'm gonna put it on. And recently, she's like, hey, yo, I'm working on some new shit. She hit me in the DMs, like, I have some new shit coming. Check it out. And I'm like, oh shit, this is some unreleased shit. And I'm like, oh, this song is gas. Can't wait till it drops. And so I'm like, oh, it sounds like these bands. It's like, I never heard of them. I'm gonna look them up. Like, hell yeah. And it's like, hey, bro, like, I see when you stream my song because you know you get your analytics and shit, and you're on Spotify. And I'm like, this is why I do what I do. I want people to know that, hey, you make shit, and like people deserve to hear what you make. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, like your song is under 1,000 streams. Nah, fuck that. We're gonna run these streams up.
Yeah, we're gonna get that into the 6-7 digits,
as they say. And I'm like, bro, like, even though, like, again, Spotify, they ain't paying the rent, but it's like,
yeah,
I want people to hear you. You know what I mean? One of my friends who I had my one of my brothers from broadcasting school, Mikey, on my YouTube channel. We were talking about his most recent album, and he hits my phone. He's irritated because he used to rap, and now like he wants to like do more like singing stuff. And I told him like, hey man, like I've heard your music since like we were in school together, and I didn't know you could sing like that, you know? Yeah. And he was like, damn, Post Malone, like he's doing what I do. And he's getting all these like, you know, all this praise, all these accolades. And I'm like, my dog, he's been in like the mainstream for like his entire fucking career. And like, not for nothing, you're at best a regional artist. And that's a great place to be to like just like build your own kingdom. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like your network came out of your pocket. That boy Malone, he signed a contract. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, that boy is mad controversial. And like, you're still a regular guy. So like,
right.
I'm gonna put on for like the local guy who has like less than like 50,000 listeners on Spotify. It's like,
oh yeah, totally. And like
you'll get there eventually, and like you have to find your own way to like the top of that mountaintop and shit like that. You gotta keep doing what you're doing.
Because like I mean, you never know who's going to explode next. It could be your friend, you know. And so
I'm saying,
you know, like, and you know, you never know. I mean, like you know, like sometimes like artists just kind of end up blowing up because it's just something that people needed and didn't know they needed, and maybe your friend is one of those. So
I'm saying, shout out to my boy Mikey, man.
Yeah, shout out. Fuck yes. Hails to Mikey.
Last song we got. Let's see if we can wrap this up in 10 minutes. Picayune by Seder. So I'm gonna say something, and like I'm like, forgive me if this is like cliche. It's giving the Fall of Troy. Am I right or am I right?
Fall of Troy. I know I've heard that band name before, but
FCP Remix, your Guitar Hero 3?
I actually haven't heard any of Fall of Troy stuff.
Whoa!
I'm so
Oh
sorry.
man,
I
that's
know I'm a
great.
flip.
Okay, this is great news for me. This is wonderful news for me because then like we get to have an authentic conversation about this band because
Okay.
like I feel that like certain bands in the math progressive world, you're gonna get lumped in a variety of ways. Like, and going back to Coheed,
Yeah.
I recall like Claudio being like, "Oh, I resented Rush for like how like Coheed was just like categorized as it came up in the rock world."
Right.
But like, you know, like at the beginning of the pandemic, I recall that one cool show, 2 Minutes to Late Night, where they cover all these fun like classic rock and metal songs that got
Yeah.
Claudio to like do vocals for a Rush cover, and he knocked that
Yeah.
shit out of the park. As if like we expected any less. But
Yeah.
here we have like Seder, like I feel as though like, oh, when like you play math rock, it's like, oh, you freaking protest the hero, are you Chon, are you Fall of Troy? And I'm just like, listen, we haven't had like a black person front a band since like Block Party. That's like just doing weird rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weird metal.
Yeah. And
so I'm like, I'll take it wherever I can get it. And I just like how I like a song that I can't like tap my knee to without like having to like, wait, are they in 3/4 or 5/6? Like, how the fuck does this work? How do you not like keep track of this? And they can kill this live. I've seen them play it on Audio Tree.
Oh, sweet, cool. And yeah, I mean, like, I thought the song, like, and what I really liked about the playlist that you sent me is like the songs that you sent them to me in the order that you did. It had a really nice flow. Like, it felt like I was listening to an album, and which was really cool. And I thought that was like a great opener, is this Seder song. And I was like, another one of the bands on the list that I didn't know, and I really enjoyed it. Like, the singer has a really great voice, and I really loved like all the layers to it. I mean, I love prog. What can I say? Yeah, I was definitely getting like a little bit of Coheedy vibe. It also reminded me of something else that I can't remember. But yeah, it just great song. And also another thing about like the playlist you sent me is like a lot of songs that have a very summery vibe. So I thought it was very seasonally appropriate, you know, like and so like I was just like, yeah, this sounds like a bunch of bands that I can listen to like and vibe with during the summery weather, you know, like, and Seder's one of them. So, and yeah,
hell yeah. Before we like wrap up and do like say goodbye to the people, Vegan still needs a band from each of us, but also like specifically a song. So I want to do that, and I also see that Vegan's like, how about some queer bands? And so I'm like, we can do double or nothing. I'll let you start. Can you like, in general, a good like starter band, one song in like the heavy space, and then like just like an outright like queer act that you can recommend?
Yes, I have two, like right off the bat. So Vegan, again, my shirt here, Sleep Token, that band right there. Sorry, my beard is hiding it a little bit. So Sleep Token, I would recommend the song "Take Me Back to Eden," and they also do have a little bit of a queer vibe to them, also because I do believe that there are some members in the band that are queer. And just from like you know, just how they have a really nice
vibes,
like they really do have like a big reach out to the LGBT community, I feel. And also, so for like a band that I know like 100% is queer, Cynic, and the song I would recommend is Evolutionary Sleeper. So yeah, those two. And yeah, and for Cynic, yeah, it's the lead singer / lead guitarist Paul Masvidal. He and the drummer Sean Rayner both came out of the closet in 2014. And
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Sean Reinert, he passed away about a couple years ago.
I
Rest in
didn't know about
peace,
that.
Sean Reinert. But yeah, both he and Paul Masvidal are gay, and they came out of the closet in 2014, and like it took them a while, which it happens because like the world sucks, and there's a lot
Cruel.
of hateful, cruel pieces of shit out there, and yeah, and so like they first formed in like the early 90s, and they put out a record called Focus, which is also a really great record. um, and but yeah, like they were being put on these tours with death metal bands, and people would like throw rotten tomatoes at them and shit, and like call them homophobic epithets, and this was even before like they came out. And
Sheesh.
and so like that's why Cynic broke up for a while, and they reformed in 2007, 2008, I believe, and like that's when they put out Traced in Air, which is the album that has the song Evolutionary Sleeper. And yeah, and then a few years after that, that's when they came out. And so yeah, like, and follow their instas. It's at Paul Masvidal, and at Cynic_official. Yeah, check them out, and also check out Sleep Token. So yeah, so those are my recommendations: Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden, and Cynic Evolutionary Sleeper. So
Okay. Right off the top, in regards to just like heavy music, that's like not hard to get into. First of all, thanks, Scott.
anytime, I got you.
So I love gent, which is a very popular subgenre in metal.
Yes, I love
And
Jet.
one of my favorite bands in that world was a band called Destiny Potato. And
Destiny
you know
Potato.
about them, Destiny Potato. Very silly name. If you
I love
follow
that
like the
shit.
art,
That's great.
I love it's like like it takes. Hey, thank you, Faye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Faye.
And so
yeah, Faye is my longtime friend Peter Gillis, and we've been
wow,
friends.
What a small world.
Yeah, we've been friends since elementary school. So like and so like big shout out. Yeah, shout out Peter. Love you, dude.
Gang.
Thank you for joining.
And so Destiny Potato is like two artists, and including and like the like there's the vocalist and there's a guitarist. And the guitarist's name, I don't want to like mispronounce homie's name. It's David Maxim Mikic, and they're from Europe. I forget where they're from, but I know they're from somewhere in Europe. And so they put like a gent album out called Lun. And it's like imagine like Periphery, but they have like a woman vocalist. You know what I mean?
Oh fuck yeah.
And sweet. Like it's like imagine Ariana Grande knew how to do like harsh vocals essentially to describe Alexandra. And so they put out one album.
Great, like
it was a really good album, but like I guess things didn't work out, and they tried it again with a whole new band name and everything. But things end up, and like when they tried it the second time, they put a teaser out of them like doing like a cover of Changes by Ozzy, but they had a full horn section, and it was only like a 30-second cover, and they didn't even do like the whole song. But I heard it, and I'm like, I need this so bad. Like I never needed a cover so bad in my life, and it never came out. I really hope it comes out someday. But like like Destiny Potato, they had a great album, and the one song I recommend is Walls of Thought. I'm writing it down so you can see it on screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember.
They only have like one album, so like you could like find it. It's on all the DSPs.
Walls of Thought. Okay, cool.
And like I got into them because like I got a free sampler online, and it had like their first ever song called like Dark Side of You. And it was very amateur, if you will. It was kind of like 6-7 minutes.
Okay.
Like those big juns, you know what I'm saying? Like we know what the big juns sound like. And like we had some harsh vocals.
Yeah.
We had like some cleans. It was a little sensual, you know what I mean? And nice. Like some synths, you know what I mean? Like very, it's like it's everything we all love about Gent. And I'm like, oh, this is a cool song. Like
It sounds like
can't
something
say
I'd be into.
exactly. And then like the album comes out, like they had like a live because at first like two people, but then they had like a whole like live band for a while. Things just didn't pan out, and I'm like, I always like hold a torch for them because I'm like, man, imagine if they had come to the States at the right time and the right people heard this band, and it's like, we need this, like we need something that's just a little heavier than Imagine Dragons and Nickelback. And no shame, but it's just like
Yeah.
y'all get most of the budget when like they think, oh, can we play any kind of rock? We can play these two random ass bands. So that's my recommendation for like regular ass metal if you haven't like not sure where to like start, I guess. Falling down that the Gent rabbit hole might lead you some weird places, and I think that's intentional. But in regards to this like queer representation in like the scene, I gotta take it back to 1984 with Judas Priest and Defenders of the Faith, specifically the Sentinel. I have to recommend the Sentinel because like to say like Painkiller, that's too easy, and that song goes hard as balls. But like,
oh yeah, it's a good song, but like they have
again like
a lot
Devin
of
Townsend. I gotta get to my boy Heavy Debbie because they're like, I forget which platform he was on, but like, hey, what's a song you love playing on the guitar? And he's like, oh, I love The Sentinel by Judas Priest. And he starts playing it, and I'm like, oh, this shit sounds hard. And so I put it on, and I'm like, bro, listen. I hear a song like I hear a band like Judas Priest. I see the outfits. I ain't fucking with those cats. Right. You know what I mean? Like, because like look at that leather. Look at those glasses. You know they're ready to fuck you up. And I'm like, hey man, like, if you can't beat them, join them. You know what I'm saying?
I would love to see anyone try to do any homophobic violence to Rob Halford because he would fuck them up.
That guy is so metal. That guy's metal as bro. He's so cool, bro. Even before I knew like he was awesome. Like he was gay, I'm like, bro, like the way he sings, like his whole swag. It's like, bro, that guy is metal as hell. Like he and Lemmy are just like metal. You know what I mean? It's like you can just tell when you look at the dudes. You know what I mean?
Judas Priest really has been one of my longtime standing favorites, and like they're incredible, and like Rob Halford is an incredible human being. I mean, like, you know, not just has an incredible voice and writes awesome music, but he's just a sweet person. Like, check out his Instagram, and it's like mostly him just like hanging out like with his cat. You know,
that's wholesome. That's wholesome as hell, bro.
Yeah, and I'm like, but yeah, like love Judas Priest. There's this one meme that I saw. It was pretty great. It was like, it said, this is going to be my answer to every question from here on out. And like, it was a shot, just like a still from like a video from like back in the 70s or something, a bunch of people tailgating in a parking lot, drinking beer and whatever. They were wearing metal shirts and, you know, like this one, it was a still of this guy saying, Judas Priest is the best and they always will be. And I'm like, I have no evidence to refute that.
And again, with like the whole like Painkiller thing, I remember when like we had like Baby Metal playing the APMAs, and they played like Painkiller with like Judas with Rob. He came out to like do vocals for them, and it's like I was so happy to see like a younger band like get embraced by one of like the gods of the culture. Because like not only is it hard for like non-men and femmes to like be in like the scene, but like folks from other countries, you know what I'm saying, where like English isn't like the primary language, and like again kids, it's like, bro, like let these idols do their thing, because like it's good they love this music. They just dropped again recently. I haven't heard it yet, but like I'm so glad they're still here with us, because like it's something fun and interesting. And as I recall, they're like a trio, Baby Metal, but one of the girls is like, I think like she got sick, or she was just like, I'm so tired, I can't go back on tour, y'all, I'm done. And she hung up her boots, and they got another girl to like replace her temporarily, and now she's a full-time member. And I'm like, yes, like give that girl a bag, bro. Like it's not easy to sing and dance in a metal show, like to like choreography. So like give her the bag, dog. So I'm like, heck yeah, like they're still out here kicking ass. There it is, y'all. It's been an hour and a half. We got 5 songs in. We got 5 more for y'all. I'm hoping we can get this in. All right, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna throw a Hail Mary. Best case scenario, God willing, inshallah, I will be in town next month July 17th through the 23rd. Best case scenario. And as I recall, you're still in Moco, hypothetically speaking.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, wait. I actually live in Falls Church, Virginia, which is like it's by like Tyson's Corner,
damn.
Yeah, but actually like I mean Moco is like a 25-minute drive for me.
Okay.
So I'm close. So like I live close. I mean like the Maryland.
If you don't have a client by the time I'm in town, I would love to slide and we just like do the episode like at the same time.
Oh yeah, like that'd be great. And you said
born and raised vegan.
Wait, and you said what are the dates you're going to be in town?
The 17th of July to the 23rd. I'm gonna be local.
Okay. Okay. So it's you are gonna laugh your ass off. I'm gonna be actually in Camden, New Jersey.
That's right. You and your mama.
Yeah, for the Avenged Sevenfold show. I'm taking my mom to the Avenged Sevenfold show up there, and because that's the closest date that they had to this area, and so it's like, but it's we're only going to be gone for like, like about just a couple days. So like, but yeah, like, there's that, and I actually took that whole week off from work, and so like we can definitely meet up and do. Like,
we have got to compare calendars. Then.
Yeah. And so, like,
let's go.
Yeah, we can make that work. We can do that.
Okay. Because
let's do it.
June is like there's so much happening in my life right now, just like with work and social stuff and other things I'm doing on this channel, and so I don't want to overextend myself. And I know you're a busy person, and I want to make sure that I meet you in the middle. You know what I mean?
We're busy people. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I'm thinking like this back because it's only like June 10th, but I already see like the rest of this month being as like chaotic as can be. It's getting warm out, like the world is literally on fire, and like
I know, and
revolution is springing up like geysers out there in the streets.
Yep.
And so I just want to like make sure that like I get a lay of the land as the vegetation grows. And you're like one of the 4 things that I do on this this channel. So I want to make sure that like I'm setting aside the time for us both to like just like go deep. I'm gonna get to like the roots of these records.
Sounds good.
Stay in touch. In the description.
Will do.
I do not think that I put my own socials in like the description, but I'll probably throw it in there. Like I'm mostly on Twitter and TikTok. You can find Scott on Facebook. I linked their band in the description. Shout out to 7th Autumn. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome, man. Like that. Also, my Instagram is at Count Scotchula 87. And
I will include that as well. I will put that in the comments. So thank you.
Sweet. Yep. And
okay. Calls to action. All right, straight up. First things first. When you're done listening to this, you're gonna like, take a pee break. You're gonna like brush your teeth, floss. I don't know, put on a face mask. So before you do any of that shit, look yourself in the mirror and you say, "I love you," to yourself. Please tell yourself that you love yourself. If you cannot do that, I understand. But please know that I, Chris Kennard, and that person over there, Scott, we love you in the most like supportive and platonic way possible. Hate is easy, but it'll kill you. Love never fails. Love never fails. It's harder, but like it's more worthwhile. Love will keep you alive, and love will help you enjoy your life. That's just my opinion.
Damn right.
Secondly, when you leave your home, did you hear that? Did you hear that? When you leave your home, please wear a mask over your nose and under your mouth. For the sake of the immunocompromised, for the sake of the children, for the sake of the elderly. It's the right thing to do. And not even for Miss Vid.
Thank you.
Not even for Miss Vid. If you're on the East Coast, baby, them trees across the border in the Canada on fire. Yep. I don't want no fire roasted molecules in my lungs. I want to breathe. I want to live. Huh.
Yep.
The air. Listen, we are in a climate crisis. Ain't no scientists. Do some Googling. Make sure your sources are like verified twice over. But like, I'm just saying, I would prefer you to be healthy. Other countries, they don't wear masks. I was at a restaurant today.
Yeah.
I was in Chinatown eating some fish. Guess what? Every single person on staff, mask. You know what I'm saying? It's polite.
That's the way to do it.
Maybe I'm gonna sneeze. I don't want to sneeze on you. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, dog. That's for me to you. You can ignore me. It's cool. I ain't gonna hate you. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I said that I did. Finally, and most importantly, drink more water.
Yes. Cheers. Water is good. I've been drinking so much water lately because it's
good.
Been getting hotter.
It's hot.
And I feel like I've been peeing like 10 times a day. That's
it is
TMI.
what it is.
But like, and, I mean, probably probably hasn't been that much, but it's still like I've been drinking a lot more water, and like, but that's
really? At work. They'll unload like like those 24 packs.
Yeah.
They like take 3 of those every day and load it into like the employee fridge. And I take 3 bottles every home when I go home because I'm like, listen, cuz like this shit is expensive. And like again, that corner shop that's open at 2 a.m, I can get a bottle for like 50 cents. But if I ain't got it, I'm taking it from work. Period. You know what I mean? I work there. I'm a wage slave. I'm taking some water. You know what I'm saying? That's on God.
Yeah.
Drink water. Some places ain't got that clean water. You know what I mean? We need to change that shit. Water is a human right. Yep. Free internet. Human rights.
Yep. Flint, Michigan still doesn't
queer have love is a human rights. If I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna do that fourth call to action, it's pride, happy pride, queer lives matter, trans lives matter. Like listen, cause like you're gonna respect you're gonna respect all like people in the queer community.
Revolt.
Or I'm gonna identify as a problem, and that's on God. You know what I'm saying?
Hell fucking yeah. And
shout out to all my queer siblings out there in the universe. Just live your life. Be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
big shout out.
Just like and embrace who you are. You change and grow as a person every single day. So like, have fun exploring that. You know what I mean? Like, look outside your window. Like, Google something. You'll find that your experiences are more similar than you think. And if you're here breathing right now, you got something to do, and I hope it's something you actually enjoy. So, Scott, before we go,
Chris,
anything you want to add to the people out there in the universe?
Oh well, you pretty much covered it. Let's see. Fuck the system. Cops don't belong at Pride.
ACAB, baby.
And all hail Marsha P. Johnson.
Amen. Hallelujah. Yep. Gosh darn, y'all. This has been Songs with Scott, Volume 2, the 3rd stream. We'll be back at some point. As my good friend, the Living Abstraction, likes to say when we get on this thing together, he says, this is goodbye, but it is not farewell. So until next time, good luck, good night, and Godspeed. I'm Chris Kennard. That's Scott. We appreciate you. Keep on rocking in the free world.